You reply to every text instantly. You pick up the check. You agree with her opinions. You do everything logically right, but at the end of the date, you get hit with the classic line, "I just didn't feel any chemistry." Meanwhile, that exact same person will completely obsess over someone who is aesthetically average, maybe struggling financially, but who genuinely seems unbothered by whether she likes him or not. We like to think of attraction as a conscious choice or a random lottery. It isn't. There is a precise, hidden biological engineering running in the background of our brains. Human beings take exactly 3 seconds to form a definitive subconscious judgment about someone. Before you even open your mouth to say hello, the primitive parts of her brain have already scanned you and locked in a verdict. If you find yourself consistently losing in this environment, it is highly unlikely that you are failing because you lack a massive bank account, towering height, or perfect genetics. When you try to use a spreadsheet of good deeds to spark desire, you are playing the wrong game on the wrong scoreboard. Attraction does not care about your logic. It strictly answers to primal triggers. A common excuse people make is that money directly buys sexual desire. They assume a full wallet is the ultimate biological cheat code. Financial security solves baseline survival, but what actually drives long-term desire is emotional security. That is the subconscious signal that a partner is trustworthy, stable, and capable of building a viable future, even if the money suddenly vanishes. A man who is intensely focused on his own life project, who has raw ambition and discipline, broadcasts that emotional security. That drive is infinitely more compelling to the primitive brain than a static bank balance. But that drive is instantly killed by something called excess availability. When you constantly drop your own priorities to say yes to everything a partner asks, the brain does not interpret that as politeness. It interprets it as submissiveness. By lacking personal boundaries and an independent agenda, you communicate that your time has no inherent value. You stop being viewed as a high-value partner and are reduced to a mere utility, someone who simply serves a function. Once someone becomes a utility, respect completely evaporates. Without respect, sexual desire dies of starvation. You aren't a romantic interest anymore. You are a piece of comfortable furniture. This dynamic extends beyond behavior, right into your physical packaging. The human brain constantly scans the environment, reading visual symbols on your body that broadcast either strength or fragility. Specific facial geometry acts as a biological billboard. A wider, square jawline, for example, is read by the subconscious as an evolutionary indicator of high testosterone and physical capability. If a man makes delicate styling choices, like growing his hair out, he relies on contrasting biological markers, like a highly structured jaw, to project baseline strength. Conversely, a man with a naturally thin or softer face can use styling to his advantage. Adopting a rigid, military-style fade haircut artificially injects a symbol of aggression and structure into his silhouette, balancing the equation. Then there is posture. Dropping your shoulders inward communicates defeat, but an expansive, open stance, taking up physical space, forces both your own nervous system and everyone watching to register high status and relentless drive. You do not have to invent a fake, aggressive persona to win. You simply need to align your physical presentation to stop accidentally broadcasting fragility. When that biological attraction hits, the feeling completely bypasses the prefrontal cortex, the logical, decision-making center of the brain. Instead, it strikes the nucleus accumbens. The nucleus accumbens is the brain's reward circuit, and it triggers a rush of dopamine that is chemically similar to the effects of amphetamines. Because the logical brain was left out of the decision, it scrambles to catch up. This triggers the divine effect. The prefrontal cortex acts like a desperate auditor, grabbing onto random coincidences, like having the same taste in music or texting at the exact same time, to build a fake logical framework that justifies the instinctual choice it already made. This is also why people complain about having bad luck in dating, constantly choosing toxic partners. It has nothing to do with luck. It is a subconscious repetition of familiar emotional patterns imprinted during childhood. This is exactly why creating a fabricated character to please someone always fails. Eventually, the dopamine levels out, the mask slips, the behavioral inconsistencies appear, and the biological attraction completely melts away. The most effective adjustment you can make is surprisingly simple. Learn the power of the word no. Place your own life's project, your goals, and your boundaries at the absolute forefront of your daily priorities. True attraction is never something you can negotiate through favors or buy with a dinner check. It is the unavoidable consequence of being entirely self-sufficient, holding your ground, and remaining firmly focused on your own path.